Oh, I'm Tony DeFrank, and this is our latest installment of Covering Classic Cars. And what I kind of wanted to do for our Father's Day week is to have an interview with my boss and also Father Jim DeFrank, our company founder. So, hey, Pops, how you doing?
I'm fine, Tony. I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. Well, hey, thanks for coming in, and thanks for I kind of strong-armed him to do this interview today. He's a little more bashful than I am occasionally, but I guess, usually I get to spend a couple days a week in the office with him and have lunch with him, and so during, I guess, this lockdown, we really haven't been spending too much time with you. So, I guess, what have you been doing for the past 3 months?
Well, you and Jimmy have been really, really nice to me. You don't want me to come to the store anymore because of the coronavirus situation. So I certainly don't mind coming down in my garage. So I've been spending the last couple months down here in my garage. And as you can see, I love being in my garage because it's a pretty awesome garage that my wife built for me. Yep, it was really, really great. So, I love hot rods. I love 55 Chevys. I love race cars. So I'm really I'm sick. I'm a car guy. I just love cars. I love all kinds of cars, all types of cars, all colors of cars. It's just me. I just always loved cars since I was just a little boy growing up in western Pennsylvania, in a little town of Lovell Green. And my next door neighbor had a street rod, and I just kind of carried on from that. He used to let me shine his car all the time and then to take me for rides. I think I was 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. He had a 36 Ford Roadster, and that got me into it. That really got me into it. So what I'm working on now is I made a mistake. I sold one of my race cars, a 69 Camaro, and little did I know, I forgot to tell you that I sold it. And one day you kind of nonchalantly mentioned to me that you'd like to get the 69 Camaro and take it down the racetrack here in the near future. And I said, oh gosh, Tony, I'm so sorry, I sold it. So
it's a story of my life, so it's okay.
Well, that night in bed, of all places, my wife said to me, my wife Lorraine, she's a wonderful person, she said, Jim, I felt so bad for Tony today when you told him you sold the car. Do you think you could build another car? And I said, well, yeah, I could build another car. So I found the 69 Camaro roller, and I literally took it completely apart, and that's what I'm doing. I've been working on a 69 Camaro down in the garage. Right now it's out at the chassis shop, putting a full cage in it because I don't want any of my sons getting hurt if there's an accident. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working on a 69 Camaro to make it an A-stock automatic car.
Yeah, and we look forward to seeing it, hopefully, if the NHRA season kind of gets going again and get it back on the track. Hopefully this year, if not, start of next season.
Yeah.
And I know, now with my daughters, I only get out to the track once or twice a year, but hopefully, Jimmy will want to jump in there, and then I'll get in there when time allows. But and what you don't see on this side of the camera, I guess this is the clean end of the garage. On the other side, it's, we do a lot of our videos in here, our photo shoots and our catalog are all done in, we call it the car cover garage, and this is my father's kind of hangout. But it's a working garage. Cars are being worked on here. You maintain your hot rods here. You work on the race cars during the NHRA season. So what everyone doesn't see is the piles of parts behind the camera, because it's a working garage, and we do a lot of work in here on the company, for car cover, the photo shoot side. But you're down here tinkering on cars all the time. There's parts flying around. There's parts, tables everywhere, and this is where you and Jimmy really get to work on the cars during the entire NHRA season.
Oh, that's very true. It's very active garage, and I enjoy coming down here. And I'm down here every day until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I go up in the house and I watch television a little up there, and go to sleep and get up the next morning and come back down in the garage. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time here, and I certainly don't mind. And I really enjoy when you and Jimmy are both here and we're all tinkering on the cars. So that's fun.
I guess lately it's just been on Saturdays when we come down here I come out here to do some photos and videos for the website. But it's good to catch up and kind of have some family time. It's if you're not familiar with our company, we're family owned and operated. My parents, Jim and Lorraine, are still involved with the company most days of the week, and Jimmy and I are trying not to screw things up, is our joke. But you kind of mentioned briefly about your growing up in Pittsburgh. If you don't have a lot of knowledge about our company, my parents got married in 1965 and moved out to California, and then I guess the rest is history. So besides, and if you don't know about my dad, he had an auto parts store, another auto accessory company, a Snap-on tool dealer, you worked at the studios. You've done a little bit of everything. So, like besides being involved with the California Car Cover, kind of what was like one of your like favorite jobs that you had?
Well, my least favorite job was working in a nursery back in Pennsylvania, and I shoveled manure every day. I'll tell you a quick story about that. I made 50 cents an hour, $23.52 a week. My dad gave me the $3.52. He saved it $20, and at the end of summer, he was buying me an old Ford Coupe. So at the end of summer, I went home from all my buddies. We went to a little amusement park, and I went home and come to find out that my mother and father bought me something that Sunday afternoon from one of my high school teachers, and that gift that they bought me was a set of encyclopedias. You know, I still have those encyclopedias, Tony. They're right upstairs. They're brand new in a box. The only one I ever opened was one that said C for California, so I could read about California because I was leaving Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And that's kind of funny. Like if not everyone's heard that story, that's probably one of my like favorite stories about my dad. Was that working so hard all summer to get a hot rod, and you got a set of encyclopedias.
Yep.
And it's just but that's what kind of made you, and it kind of got you out to California, and between car parts and working in studios and doing a little bit of everything you've done, and
yes,
since you've been out here, it's really great. And I wanted to make sure like that our customers and maybe people that don't even know about us like kind of got to find that out about you. And since we're sitting in the garage, and what was, I guess we'll go back. What was back in like Pennsylvania? What was like your first classic car? What was your first hot rod?
28 Ford Roadster. that car. You know, I put that car together because I always had a dream of moving to California and joining the LA Roadster Club. So when I got married, I waited for Lorraine to graduate from high school. When she was 19, I was 23. I had a 55 Chevy, a homemade trailer that a buddy helped me build back there, and my 28 Ford Roadster, and we headed to California. I think we had maybe $300-400, something like that. Didn't know one person. All I knew is I wanted to move to California. And so that was my hot rod. A very, very nice red 28 Ford Roadster, small block Chevy in it.
And what, I guess now in the, and if you know my dad, it's all about, it's pretty much like Tri-5s and early Fords. Like, what's the favorite car in the garage that you have?
Well, my favorite car is my 1932 Ford all-steel Roadster. It's a full-fender car, small block Chevy, disc brakes, automatic. I mean, it's just a really, really, really nice car. And my next favorite is a 55 Chevy. I love 55 Chevy two-door postcars. And I have, actually I have a couple of those. I have a red and white one, and I have a black and white one.
And I guess it's really cool because it's 32 Ford Roadster. You and Mom drive this. You go to the LA Roadster events. It's been up and down the coast. I want to say you did Canada like a couple of years ago.
Yes, exactly.
And you have to travel light and pack warmly, and you've hit the road. And that car it's a driver. It's gone kind of everywhere.
Oh, it's a real driver. Yeah, we had a great time. We drove up the coast all the way up to Canada with about 20 other Roadster members, and just had a great time. And we stopped at every Dairy Queen on the way, and we just really it was a wonderful trip up there to Canada, to the Deuce Day up there in Canada. Yeah, had a good time.
Now, I guess, is there like any car that you've had that you wished you still had in the garage that you had sold? Because my father's always tinkering on something, so like there's always a revolving door of projects that come in and out of here. But is there anything that any car you wish you held on to?
Well, I used to have a really, really famous 68 Plymouth Barracuda Hemi car. I kind of wished maybe I still had that car. A super stock automatic car. Again, I love drag racing car, had a lot of history. A lot of people really, really remember it. It always left the start line with wheels up in the air. It's very, very, very fast. Won a lot of races with it. And that's probably the only car I would have kept rather than selling it, because it was a factory race car.
Right. Now, and is there, I guess, you said your favorite car is the 55 post car, the 32 Fords. Is there like a dream car that you wish was in the garage, like your bucket list, like a vehicle that was here?
I have pretty much everything that I want in this garage, but if I was to go out and buy another new car or something, I might lean towards a new Corvette. I kind of like to have a bright red Corvette, like a lot of other people.
Hey, there's a chance we're shooting one this week for for an upcoming catalog, so you can come check it out and see what you think. Yeah. It's torch red.
I'll have to,
you might have to stop by.
I'll certainly have to come check it out, but that's down the road. Yeah. I'll get one someday. No big hurry.
Yeah, and you talked about the NHRA a little bit, and like our family's been involved in drag racing for many years. my brother Jimmy, he's been like a 5-time NHRA Blue Costoa champion. He's one of the best drivers in the country in the sportsman ranks. I hung out with him at the track for about 10 years. I wouldn't say I was near as successful as him, but I went and participated. So I wanted to ask you, it's kind of like a weird year here, and I kind of wanted to know, like, if you only had one choice, you could go to either the U.S. Nationals, Indianapolis, or the Street Rod Nationals in Kentucky. Like, what would you want to go to? Like, that's like your mecca of all your friends and buddies are hanging out. Like, what would be your, like, if you can only attend one? Because I think you've been to most of them for the past like 40 years. So
you're right, Tony. I've been to every U.S. Nationals except for one, and I've been to all of the NSRA Street Rod Nationals since day one. And this year it's going to be very easy for me to make that decision, because I will not be going to the U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis this year.
What?
But I will be going to the Street Rod Nationals in Louisville, Kentucky, because I just heard yesterday that the governor there said it was permissible for NSRA to have the event there this year. So that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at the U.S. Nationals in Louisville, Kentucky.
So you're going to the Street Rod Nats, and you're not sure about U.S. Nats yet?
I'm not going to the U.S. Nationals, no. Oh. Not this year.
Not this year? Oh, well. Well, hey, look at this. Look at this. We are sharing breaking news about Jim DeFrank & Sons Racing and California Car Cover. And, well, that's good news, because, it's been definitely a trying year for everybody, and we miss, our friends and customers across the country. And hopefully, it's June, but hopefully later in the summer we'll get out and see at some certain events around the country. We'll get to catch up with some of our friends, because that's part of the fun of being in the hot rod industry is the car shows. And you go and you spend weekends with people that start out as your customers, and then they become your friends. And you see them, whether it's like a Pomona swap meet where we see the same people every 6-7 weeks, or it's a car show and you see those same families year after year at a same car show, same weekend. And it's kind of that camaraderie that you kind of, I don't know if other industries have it, but if you're into the automotive aftermarket, it's like you used to see in your car guys and car girls like on the weekends in the summertime. And I guess, I didn't have too much more to talk about. You did a great job just kind of picking about it. How about, what do you enjoy the most about having a family business?
Well, being around my families has really been the kick. I mean, anytime you can turn your hobby into a business and make a few dollars to earn your living, to provide for your family, that's pretty awesome. So we spend a lot of time together. We have dinners together, we have lunches together, and anytime you can do that with your sons, your daughters, your children, that's irreplaceable. It's just a wonderful experience. And I've been very, very, very fortunate, very blessed to have a good life. And as you mentioned, I've started 7 different little businesses in California. Every one of them's been like a little stepping stone or a ladder to climb. And I love being in California Car Cover Company. I love selling car covers. I love cars, and my dreams come true. I can't ask for anything else.
Well, thank you, Pops, and thank you for spending some time with us today. And I guess, if you're in the Southern California area and you have a chance to stop by our new headquarters in Simi Valley, we kind of put together a little history of, my father and our company. And there's probably, I think the coolest thing about the new shop is that we have this whole wall of just a history of our family and the companies. And there's photos of our first location. There's photos of Jimmy and I when we were little chubby guys using car dusters. There's photos of my father at the old auto parts store, there's Snap-on tool awards we found, and that's probably the neatest thing about the new shop. So it's definitely worth checking out if you ever make it out to Simi Valley. But
we'll be happy to see you.
Well, Ben, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully we didn't bore you with too much car talk, but again, just keep an eye out on our YouTube channel and Facebook page for the latest videos under covering classic cars and California Car Cover.
Be safe, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.